Hey!
How you guys doing? So sick. So I went to Catholic school my entire life up to college. So if you're ever in like a huddled mass and everybody's whispering, "What the hell is wrong with John?" That's it. That is what's wrong with me completely. You can cite that, go to my Wikipedia, update it. And actually, don't go to my Wikipedia, that's a very different John Smith. It would be great though, after all of his adventures with Pocahontas, at the bottom it just says, he showed up out of the woods in Pennsylvania in 2014. Told us he went to Catholic school, gained a lot of weight, maybe gay. So yeah, Catholic school. I assume you guys get the idea of Catholic school. We like Jesus, we like education, we combine it, yay. And you know, the big thing about Catholic school also is uniforms. Uniforms are very important. Highly sexualized by the people outside of Catholic school. Inside Catholic school, it more so just strips the sexuality away. Which kind of makes sense, I think. I mean, you have this building with pulsating hormonal teenagers, and you just strap a sweater vest on them and take away anything that they have of feeling attracted to each other. The thing with Catholic school, though, is the best days were dress-down days. Dress-down days were the days you obviously didn't have to wear a uniform, usually reserved to special events like field trips. And like the cool thing about that is like all the girls would try to dress as scantily as they possibly could without having to be sent home or having to wear like a dirty, like generic uniform that they have just in the lost and found. And all the guys would just try to wear like brand clothing, something that would impress. You try to like show yourself. My friends at the time, however, like we didn't really so much get into the brand clothing so much as just wearing our best like Dragon Ball Z shirts. And then maybe I would get maybe try to like get a little special and have like a Hawaiian style shirt that I wouldn't button up because I was fat. And then maybe there was a samurai down here, and like the Japanese symbol for fire on the back to show my power. And as you can imagine, we had to like stop all the people from trying to kiss us. Just get out of here. We got magic card games to play. Yeah, so field trip. There was a specific field trip I took one year, and it was to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, which doesn't seem like very far for you guys, because you guys were like, what, an hour away? I grew up in the Poconos, which is like right on the border of Jersey, so we're all fighting that battle. And we went to Harrisburg to see kind of like just how the government worked. And we were there for a very specific reason. My class the year before had a classmate pass away, and there was a bill going through at the time that was related to him, and it did go through, and now all the high schools have defibrillators. That's not a joke, that's just true. Why would you laugh at that? But we went and saw the bill get passed, and that was, you know, exciting in the way that C-SPAN is exciting, so not at all. And afterwards, we had time, so they took us to the Harrisburg Civil War Wax Museum. And I don't actually know if it was called the Civil War Wax Museum, but 75% of its displays were wax figures, so I'm just gonna call it that. And I don't know if you guys know anything about wax figures, but here's the first thing you need to know. They are fucking terrifying. They are monsters. The idea is you take images of alive or mostly dead people, make corpses of them, dress them up, and then make dioramas. And I mean, it comes from a time where they didn't have photos or Photoshop. So, like, if you wanted to know what Stonewall Jackson looked like eating spaghetti, you could go and see that. But now I can just Google Stonewall Jackson eating spaghetti, and I have that. So I don't know why they still exist. And like, there's a specific moment I remember very clearly at this museum, and it's upstairs, and there's this statue of, and it's, for some reason we can access it, like we were able to touch it. And there was a bunch of my classmates up there, and there's just a statue of a black man in, like, he's behind bars. And my classmates are daring each other to run up and touch it. And when they do this, they run away from it screaming, which to me makes me, like, I just feel that, like, your medium is getting in the way of the message you're showing, and that clearly is an example of that missing on a class full of white children. Yeah, so we get there, my friends and I immediately hit the gift shop, because what's the point of going somewhere if you can't get a toy from it? And I get a tiny northerner hat, because I'm not racist, and that's the best way I can express that. And I just, you know, people will see me on the street and go, he's one of the good ones. And I don't have to explain anything. But I put on that hat and I just like go on about my day at the museum. We look around, we see all the stuff, and eventually we kind of get around. It's not that big of a place if you ever go there. And my friends and I, we decided to go downstairs. We find a small corner in this where it's really quiet and no one's really there. And we just kind of sit there and we talk about things, whatever we did at the time, probably Dragon Ball Z, maybe Sailor Moon. We had a very limited palette of things we talked about. And we're there, and my friend, he decides to, like after a while, he's just like, turns around, pulls down his pants, and moons me. This is the first time this has ever happened to me, and like a rational person, I scream and just run out away, because like, apparently I don't function as a person, and butts scare me. And I run out, and I get into this hallway, and one thing I want to stress is all the stuff I said about Civil War, like, the wax museums and stuff like that before, you also have to add in, this is the Civil War, and it has all the gruesome pictures of the Civil War as well. So you're basically taking 10th graders into just a horror show. It's Halloween, but with history. And I get into this one area, and it's this long hallway, and it's dark, and it's just me there, and there's just like the hum of an air conditioner, and on my left there's a man being amputated, and on my right there's like a guy loading a cannon, and there's just dead bodies at his feet. So I'm there in this dark room, and I start to freak out, because these things, like, I don't like them, I really don't. And I start to like panic, and what I know now is the start of a small panic attack. I can't look at them because they'll get me, they'll come to life and steal my energy. And I'm just looking at the floor, and I'm getting to that point where I'm about to just be like, I can't take it, and just run for the door at the end of the hall. And the door opens, and light floods into the hallway. And this chubby, short figure comes out, and this woman appears from the light, and she has this beautiful cherub-like face. She looked like a Cabbage Patch doll that was allowed to live a full, long age and got to her like 40s. And she comes up and she opens her arms out like a plane coming for a hug, and she makes eye contact with me, and she just starts coming towards me. And she gets to me, she doesn't hug me, but she puts her hand on my shoulder, and she's so short, she has to get on her tippy toes to get to me, and she's hanging all of her weight on me. Thank you, Chris. And I'm just kind of like there, like this is completely blanked out the fear from me, and I'm just going, what's going on? And she goes, it's going to be okay. And just kind of freaky, because I'm like having a panic attack, and this angel woman comes out of nowhere and says it's going to be okay. And I don't know, like if you think that like this isn't a coincidence, I can tell you it absolutely is. Because she follows it up with they come here and they think you know, they know, but they don't. But you do. And I just kind of nod. And at this point, like a couple of my classmates, not my friends, come up behind me. They've been following this woman around all day because she's apparently been saying this stuff to people all day. And I'm there, and she then kind of goes, "It must make you so angry that they get to come here, but you can't go home." And I say yes. Because I can't say no to people. It's a problem I have. So then she kind of takes her weight off of me and she goes, "Here," and she reaches into her pocket and she pulls out a fist clenching nothing and she lifts it up like this and she unravels nothing and presents it to me and goes, with a lot of pride in her voice, "This is my diploma. I want you to have it." And then she rolls it up and she takes it and she puts nothing in my hand and she closes my hand in on it and still grasping my hand, she says, "If ever you're in trouble, hold on to this. Call my name and I will be there for you." And I nod. And I pantomime putting something in my pocket. And she leaves. And just like that, she's gone. Like the classmates follow her, and I'm just alone in the room again with the hum. And like all that fear is gone because like all it's left with is confusion. And I'm fine. And eventually my friends catch up to me and we leave. And it wasn't until like later I had been really thinking about it and I realized I still had that stupid hat that I had bought for, and I realized she must have thought I was part of the display. Or she thinks that I'm a time traveler. Either way, it's great that Civil War soldiers love Dragon Ball Z. And like the best part is like her advice, you know, it will be okay. And if I have to like, I can use that like as a small little mantra for myself. And even if it doesn't, I still keep this with me, just in case. Thank you, everyone.
John Smith.